Hi my friend, in this video we're going to be arranging an underground tech house song inspired by Malpi's song, Beats for the Underground. And we're going to find out if we can do this in 15 to 20 minutes using the 80-20 rule of house music arrangement. And what you're listening to right now is the actual track that we'll be working on, and what you're looking at right now is the Ableton project file that we'll be working on. In particular, we're going to be looking at the macro transitions, particularly looking at this arrangement track here at the top, the changes that happen every 16 to 32 bars, as well as the micro transitions, the little flourishes and ear candy and small changes that are happening every 4, 8, or 16 bars that kind of keep things interesting, keep the energy going, and keep the song kind of dynamic and fun. All in all, it really only took me about 15 to 20 minutes to arrange this track once the loop has been created. And it took me about 5 hours over the course of 4 or 5 days to completely mix, master, arrange, and complete this track. Finishing songs is something that's important to you. I've created a completely free bundle of templates, samples, and special bonuses that I use to completely finish one song like this every single week. Visit the link that's in the description or on screen right now to grab the ultimate song finishing toolkit for free. And with that said, let's jump into this. Alright. So before we do a full kind of walkthrough of the arrangement, there's a couple things I'm going to want to point out. So first is, like normal, I have the actual Malpi Beats for the Underground reference track in here. So this is useful for while building up the track, but it's also nice because I was able to create this arrangement track up at the top to indicate where the intro is, where the sub comes in, the break, the drop, and all that. In this particular project, you'll see that there's two. So this is an actual full breakdown of this Malpi Beats from the Underground track. Main thing is when I was building it, there's usually this like I want to say this is probably 32 bars of 32 bars of a drop followed by an extra like 8 bars, and I wasn't really digging that when I was building up my own track, so I ended up removing that. So you'll see here in my final version it's just this 32 bars for the drop, 32 bars for the break, 32 bars for the drop, whereas in Malpi's track it's 32 bars plus an additional 8 bars here. So I have this separate so you can kind of see what the original track was, but again, as I'm usually talking about this stuff, I think it's a good idea to start by referencing the track and then slowly break off and make your own unique ideas, and that's what happened here. So this is a look at the actual reference or the actual structure of this Malpi track. In addition to that, main thing there is to build out reference tracks and these arrangement tracks, so it's very easy once you build out the track horizontally, so the loop. Once you have an arrangement track, it's a lot easier to kind of copy things over and build out the track following this arrangement track, and that's how I was able to arrange this within maybe 15 to 20 minutes because of that. Other than that, we're going to kind of go through the rest of the track. These larger changes, as indicated by the arrangement track up at the top, or what I would consider a macro transition, larger changes like a verse to a chorus, those kinds of things. And then we're also going to be paying close attention to micro transitions, so little things like what you just heard there, the kick being pulled out and a little fill happening, or little lasers or risers and all those kind of things that really make a track interesting and dynamic and change over time. So what we'll do next is we're going to go through this, just let the track play, and I'll kind of give a commentary through everything. I'll try to solo things as I can and all that. And if you want access to this project file, there'll be an additional link in the description. You'll get access to this complete project file so you can see all the samples and all the racks that I've built. And you'll get all the previous project files, and I'm also finishing a new track every week, and you'll be able to get access to that as well. So with that said, let's jump into this. We're starting off with the first 16 bars of the intro. This is mainly for the DJ to be able to mix in. So starting off with some kick, some of the drum elements in the second half here, the 16 bars, this 8 bar bit. We added in this hi-hat element here, and we have this screech coming in just a little bit, and now a little fill into the first macro transition, which is where the sub comes in. At this point, we have the claps and snares have been added, all the tops have been added as well, and the bass has been added, and we have this like siren playing, as well as the screeches is happening on a more frequent basis. Then it breaks into this little quick break here over the course of 8 bars. First half of it, add the kick. Second half of it, we remove the kick, kind of reduce the energy, as well as the toms and the shakers have been removed. and we have a little kind of riser building into that crash. So now we're in the first drop. When we have all the drums in, and the bass is playing, and we're slowly filtering in this vocal here. So this one here, that little laser sound happening. Again, you can see 4 bars and another laser sound there. Now we're gonna have a reverse crash going into the crash here. We're just gonna go into a larger break. So for the breaks, very common. Just as you can see here, remove the kick to really drop the energy down. The first half, we have the open hi-hat gone. The second half of it, we're gonna add in the open hi-hat to increase the energy. And we're slowly playing around with this siren. Second half of it, we also added in this clav kind of sound. And we're gonna do like a dropout. You can see here, all everything drops out as a micro transition. To really add some emphasis so that you're taking away as much as possible right before the drop comes in to really make that more impactful. So now we're in on this drop, and what we have here is almost all of these synths are playing, and we have vocals slowly fading in. We have a lot more vocals playing, drop it, and feel alright. And then we have a little reverse crash and this crash. Second half of it, we're going to add in this ride. So that 909 ride is a nice way to add in some additional energy over the course of your drop. And what I did is the first half of it, we have one ride panned to the left, and then we're going to add an additional ride. And this one's panned to the right. Just kind of filling out the stereo spectrum. We're going to go into this next break. So micro transition, we're going to drop up the kick for a second. Ooh, I do want to pull it back, even though it's this cool like radio effect. If you listen, the kick for the first bit, there's a high pass. And then it's fully removed. Little trick there. And then for this large break, it's going to go over the course of 32 bars. This kick is in for the first bit of it, and it has been high passed so that a little bit of the lows are removed. And what I've done here is I'm going to do a little bit more pausing on this one because there's a couple of tricks that I do want to show you. So if we go back to this, that feel alright, you'll notice over here, there's this echo. And the echo comes in on just in the end here with the feedback on quite high, and that's kind of creating that cool echo trail there. So then what we have here is after that first bit of 8 bars, we're adding in the vocals. It's going to be slowly filtering in here. Can't hear it yet. We've also added in the ride on the first bit. We're going to add in the second ride after this 8-bar section. We have this, what has been introduced is a pad that's being slowly filtered in as well. And we have this huge sweep adding in here. An additional one here as well, slowly adding in more and more. We also have this synth lamp that I mentioned in the previous video. It's slowly adding the release to it and the effect. So if we go over here, you can see the decays being slowly added, so it's kind of swelling the sound more and more. The riser's doing a lot of the heavy lifting here, and we did a pause here, so the last 8 bars there's no drums, and a little pause right. And now we're in the last drop here. So at this point, I've added in an additional drum layer here, this right here. This only shows up at this part, kind of make the last drop a little bit more impactful. Ooh, and also I should mention I kind of went for a respace sound here. So a little bit more jumping around than I normally do, but let's listen to this. In the break here, listen to the bass. Same bass, but it's been filtered. And then in the second half, it's just playing one note. So let's listen back to that again. So the bass has been filtered out, so it's not as subby and whatnot, but it's still playing that same rhythm. Kind of cool, progressive house kind of sounding vibe there. And then it can really take a good effect here in the second half when the drums pop out. And then I do want to show the master track here as well. What we have going on here is I have this Endless Smile plugin, and I've mapped it to these one knobs with different effects, so I can slowly apply it to the whole master to kind of add that airy reverb sound. And then, yeah, so now we're just in the last drop. So the vocals gone. We've added an extra minimal drum layer here, and the vocals being slowly filtered in. You could hear after the first 8 bars, we added one of the rides again, increasing the energy. And after this 8-bar section, we're going to make another change, add in the ride again. Reverse crash into a crash with a down uplifter kind of noise sound. You can see here almost every 4 bars, every 8 bars or so, there's some kind of layer sound or something to kind of change things up a little bit. Crash on this one, noise uplifter, and a kind of sweep sound going into the next section with little high pass goes on the kick, then kick fully removed. And now we're on the build down. This is a point where the DJ can potentially mix out, but we're trying to slowly build the energy down. So the rides are gone, and the vocals are gone, other than every once in a while there's a little bit of this feel alright bit in the first 8 bars. And that little swell of the reverse crash into that kind of like clavy kind of sounding laser sound. Slowly removing the elements until we get to the point here, which is just the outro, which is very similar to the intro. Just drums mostly for the DJ to be able to mix out. What we have in the first 8 bars is some of this clav and that kind of like vocal sound. In the last 8 bars, we remove it, and also the kick has been high passed so that it's not as subby in full. So again, the idea is to slowly keep dialing down the energy till we remove it till the end. Boom. And that's a look at it. So there's quite a bit going on. I did my best to kind of explain everything as going through it. If you do want access to the product files, there will be a link to it in the description. Again, might be a good way particularly to have a look at all the little intricacies that are happening throughout the track if you want to look into it yourself. But hopefully this video was helpful and does give you a stronger idea of how to build out your own arrangements in this way. Hello again, my friend. Hopefully you found that video useful. If you'd like to follow along yourself with the 5-step song finishing checklist, there will be a link in the description below where you can get access to that completely for free, and it's going to help you finish your songs a lot faster and better than ever before. If you found this video useful, like and subscribe and all that good stuff, but really the best thing I can do for you is hook you up with that free checklist, so make sure you check that one. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video, my friend. Have a good one.